Hi and welcome back to our second video in the series. Today we're going to talk about this topic of planning. So this is a pretty big video and I encourage you to just get some note paper or something ready so that you can jot down some notes as we go, and then you're going to have to do some of your homework and your Christmas planning. So I just want to start off by acknowledging that probably many of you are starting from different points. Some have been buying Christmas presents all year through and some are going, Christmas, I haven't even thought about it. So wherever you're starting from, you've probably still got things that you need to do, so this planning process is going to help you. But don't freak out if you haven't started yet. Just get started probably soon rather than later. As we get started with our planning, we need to think about some of the tools we need. Probably a calendar is going to be a really useful tool, and then either some note paper or a notebook that you can write in, or even an app that you can use to jot different lists in as you go along. What I find helpful is actually having a number of different lists for the different areas that I'm thinking about and planning for as well. Once you've got those tools ready, start thinking about the events that need to go on your calendar. Some of those events you have already got scheduled in. They might be work parties or events for your children's childcare or school. Other things like catching up with friends and family might not be on there yet, but they're actually a priority for you, so you need to make a time and arrange a date with the people that works. We're going to be adding things to the calendar as we go along because we've still got probably lots of shopping, lots of wrapping and decorating and things to do, so they're things that can go onto the calendar as we go too. So I want you to think about, as you start your planning, just the different areas that you need to make lists for. So one of those might be gifts, and we'll cover that in a later video as well. There might be things we need to do around the home, putting up Christmas lights, putting up the tree, getting the decorations out, even preparing some of the food and things like that. There might be a separate food list too, about who's bringing what to different events that you're catering for as well. There might be other plans that you need to prepare for as well if you're going away for the holidays, or things that you need to get ready for too. So make a different page or a different piece of paper for each of those lists. Start jotting down some of the things that you need to think about and get ready for. Some of them might be just preparation things, some of them might be things to buy as well. So what I often like to do is kind of segment the list into a things to do and things to buy list, just so I've got them sort of separate in front of me and easy to find. So this will take a little bit of time. This will probably be the most time, apart from the actual shopping part, that will take. Just this planning gets it all out of your head onto that paper so that you're ready and you kind of have a picture of how much time things will take and maybe some of the help that you might need to get those things done as well. One of the important things I want you to think about as you go through this planning process is, in previous years, what has been the thing that you've kind of wanted to do and you've kind of had a plan and then it just hasn't happened at all? And think about whether that's still a priority for you and how you can make it happen, or whether that actually just isn't important anymore. So my example of that is we often like to take around some homemade biscuits to our neighbours around the area that we live in. And that's just to say thanks for being a great neighbour and to kind of touch base with them at Christmas time. And I'm always doing that kind of the day before we go away for Christmas. So I am always a little bit stressed out by that point, I'll say that. So for me, one of the things that I can put on my calendar is probably the weekend before doing that baking, and then being able to pack it up and write the cards with my kids, and then being able to go out and deliver them, just so we've got enough time to catch all of those neighbours that we want to do. But again, probably no one's going to be upset if that just one year didn't happen at all. Depending on the stage of life that you're at, you might decide that's actually something that's just going to go off the priority list for this year. One way I like to think about it, and this has come back so many times with my planning of things, is I kind of have big, grand, flashing light plans, and they have to sort of come down a little bit sometimes into just simple, elegant, simple plans. So think about the simplification of things as you can, and try and see what else you can actually kind of just slip off the end of that list, and things that might not be so important for you this year. That's if a simple Christmas is one of your goals, I suppose. If you want it to be extravagant, you can do that. One other important aspect of planning is actually thinking about your budget as well. And so as you plan your gifts and your food, and probably any other special touches, have a think and have a chat to your partner about your budget for those things so that you can be carefully planning out how you can actually do that. One thing I do is I keep a spreadsheet of my gifts and a kind of a running tally of money I've spent on gifts as I go along, so that I can sort of make sure that fits into our family budget as well. My food budget tends to blow out a little bit often, but if you start looking for specials and stockpiling some of those things as you go along, you might be able to get some really good deals. And also just maybe think about that simplifying part of it and see if you can make it easier on your workload and also on your budget as you go forward. When you've got a moment, grab a cup of tea or coffee and sit down with those lists and just get things out of your head and onto the paper so that you can see what is in front of you and the things that need to be done over the next few weeks. And write the events on the calendars, but also one thing I like to do is kind of count backwards and just sort of see what lists I need to get done, and sort of work backwards from there as well, and I allocate things to the different weeks so that I can have a plan going forward. So if that's a helpful tool for you, I hope that you can use that to plan out your Christmas and all the things that need to get done, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.